Peace, 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 peace. Peace and love to all American Aborigines. It's your brother Aboriginal Power. I'm glad you tuned in to the Wake and Bake Show. Make sure you thumb up the video, share the live stream, and don't forget to hit the subscribe button. Let's start this thing off right.
Whatever it takes. It's happening. I seek no rewards. Look.
Pressures of being great. I'm tatted with scars, I feel the look from their eyes, I know they gazing from far. Overcoming my fears, I never wanted this life, been giving them pain. Know my soul been paying the price, give fuck about the ice. Really, I just give on my life, been thinking too much. Inside my head, I'm living it twice, been feeling convicted. Every time I step on this mic, my art form, it come from God. This ain't no gimmick, my nigga, the vision really is vivid. See my canvas and shiver. Every time I'm here to deliver. My ex-bitch, she ain't believing, now she crying me rivers. She got a heavy heart, but ain't no time for reminiscing. Guard my energy, won't turn me to a victim. Believe in my potential, fuck what you projecting. I make you see my words, like this is a projection. I pray to God to call my soul, yes, I need some protection. Ain't busted down my watch, ain't busted down my change. Got everything to lose, got everything to gain. Yeah, my soul tied to this shit. And I told the opposition that I'll die for this shit. It's you versus you. Never let this fucking world ever tell you who the fuck that you supposed to be. It's you versus you. Never let them tell you who you are. Define yourself, nigga. Focus on your dreams. It's you versus you. Never let this fucking world ever tell you who the fuck that you supposed to be. It's you versus you. Never let them tell you who you are. Define yourself, nigga. Focus on your dreams. It's you versus you. It's you versus you. In competition with myself, the hardest battle of all. And when you look inside that mirror, are you seeing your flaws? I became a man, and my dad was never involved. But all these people trying to be the same, it's hard to evolve. Gave birth to a poet. Really, I just write what I saw. And all them days alone writing, it was just me and God trying to find my purpose. I needed a sign. Many days I was lost, I was trapped in a bind. The type of fear that I felt, you can feel in your spine. It's me versus me. I knew that I was different from niggas. I talk my shit. And really, I be shitting on niggas. I'm staying humble. Yeah, I'm staying humble. Ain't busted down my watch, ain't busted down my change. Got everything to lose, got everything to gain. Yeah, my soul tied to this shit. And I told the opposition that I'll die for this shit. It's you versus you. Never let this fucking world ever tell you who the fuck that you supposed to be. It's you versus you. Never let them tell you who you are. Define yourself, nigga. Focus on your dreams. It's you versus you. Never let this fucking world ever tell you who the fuck that you supposed to be. It's you versus you. Never let them tell you who you are. Define yourself, nigga. Focus on your dreams. It's you versus you.
Don't let this fucking place define you.
It's you versus you.
At the end of the day, you gotta look at it. Who are
It's you versus you.
What do you do this for? They're always gonna tell you what you're supposed to do, but at the end of the day, walk on God's plan.
Shout out to everybody in the building, man. It's your brother Aboriginal Power, man. I got a fire show for you guys today, so make sure you tune in, share the live stream. We'll get to it here in just a second. We're going to play the rest of the intro song. So y'all just bear with me. Hit that like button, share the live stream. This is going to be one of the ones today.
What the fuck is going on? 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 These raps is like some scripture to me, yeah, they different for me. Seen my dog pass away, that shit get vivid for me. Praying on my downfall, I won't fall, yeah. Before I jump that porch, we learn how to crawl, yeah. I rose through from the concrete. The shit y'all boys cap about beyond me. I'm a born G. I be kicking out this flame, bitch, like Bruce Lee. I know they speak my name in vain, but I can't worry about it. All this pain that's in my songs, it got me hurting about it. How my niggas doubt me like there's no burden from me. They talking dollars and baguettes, we still behind the trench. Broad daylight, shooting handguns from behind the fence. I'm with some killers that's gon' hit bout it. In the spot that you got, you might get blicked out and rerouted. How y'all said that y'all believed in me. How y'all said that y'all believed in me. How y'all said, what the fuck is going on? 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 These raps are like some scripture to me, yeah, they different for me. See my dog pass away, that shit get vivid for me. Praying on my downfall, I won't fall, yeah. Before I jump that porch, we learn how to crawl again. These raps is like some scripture to me, yeah, they different for me. Seen my dog pass away, that shit get vivid for me. Praying on my downfall, I won't fall again. Before I jump that porch, we learn how to crawl again. What the fuck been going on? I got brothers, but y'all moving on. I thought them bonds were strong. Look, tomorrow, hear that comment, your dog could be gone. You can't prove me wrong. I can't put another soldier name inside a song. In them trenches, I was back in. Rubber grip the Mac 10. Foundation solid, I got traction. If I don't do it, who taking action? I kill it with passion. I remember back when niggas standing tall for their bottom. That was back when niggas stayed solid and we caught them when they crept in. Ain't want nothing moving on that block till we stepped in. Niggas getting stepped on as soon as niggas caught wind. These raps is like some scripture to me, yeah, they different for me. See my dog pass away, that shit get vivid for me. Praying on my downfall, I won't fall again. Before I jump that porch, we learn how to crawl again. These raps is like some scripture to me, yeah, they different for me. See my dog pass away, that shit get vivid for me. Praying on my downfall, I won't fall again. Before I jump that porch, we learn how to crawl again.
After all the American Aborigines in the building, we just getting started, man. We ain't even got started yet. We can wait on a few more people to gather in as we play a few more intro songs. Shout out to everybody in the building. If you can hear me in the audio, make sure you drop a fire emoji in the chat. That lets me know that you can hear me loud and clear. So drop those fire emojis in the chat, man. Drop those fire emojis in the chat, man. We're gonna play one or two more songs. We're gonna get right into it, man. Young Thug went to court yesterday. Friday. I got the whole court here. I will be uploading that later too.
I did this for my brothers. I did this for my niggas. I did this for my ears.
Make sure you hit that like button out there, man. Shout out to all the American Aborigines. Drop those fire emojis.
I did this for my niggas. I did this for my brothers. I did this for my hitters. We gon' ride for better. My wrist look like it's voted. This gun called Oil and Down. Nigga shit, I can't condone it. On the block, I move like Cody.
For the ones who did me phony, shit get tricky, I keep it on me. Plus sound like macaroni. This street shit matching money. Keep a bitch from around the brodies. Got a bitch who grab the 40. And my bitch don't squeeze it for me. I think out that brand new rollie.
I did this for my niggas. I did this for my brothers. I did this for my hitters. We gon' ride for better. My wrist look like it's voted. This gun called Oil and Down. Nigga shit, I can't condone it. On the block, I move like Cody.
For the ones who did me phony, shit get tricky, I keep it on me. Plus sound like macaroni. This street shit matching money. Keep a bitch from around the brodies. Got a bitch who grab the 40. And my bitch don't squeeze it for me. I think out that brand new rollie.
Put a gang on how I'm coming. Finish out these niggas running. I run through the city, I live in the city. These niggas ain't getting no money. They say they gon' take it from me. These niggas be all them droppers. Really got this shit out the mud. Nigga, my life was rough. From them bitches tough. Bitch, you gon' lie. You running the trap, but little baby sucking you up. I'm from the trench. Me and my nigga really was turning shit up. Work for the law. Trap on fire. Really was running shit up. Really was running shit up. I did this for my niggas. I did this for my brothers. I did this for my hitters. We gon' ride for better. My wrist look like it's voted. This gun called Oil and Down. Nigga shit, I can't condone it. On the block, I move like Cody.
For the ones who did me phony, shit get tricky, I keep it on me. Plus sound like macaroni. This street shit matching money. Keep a bitch from around the brodies. Got a bitch who grab the 40. And my bitch don't squeeze it for me. I think out that brand new rollie.
I did this for my niggas. I did this for my brothers. I did this for my hitters. We gon' ride for better. My wrist look like it's voted. This gun called Oil and Down. Nigga shit, I can't condone it. On the block, I move like Cody.
For the ones who did me phony, shit get tricky, I keep it on me. Plus sound like macaroni. This street shit matching money. Keep a bitch from around the brodies. Got a bitch who grab the 40. And my bitch don't squeeze it for me. I think out that brand new rollie.
Shout out to everybody in the building, man. It's your brother Aboriginal Power. You're now tuned in to the Wake and Bake Show. Like those backwoods, them joints and them bones up. Y'all get in the comment section. Let me know what city and what state you in and what are you smoking on this Grand Rising. Shout out to all the American Aborigines. Shout out to all the American Indians, all the American BAs as well, man. We're going to play one more intro song before we get right into it, man. Shout out to everybody in the building, man. Let's get right into it. It's your brother Aboriginal Power.
Whatever it takes. The alleyway. Feelings from the past, yeah, you gotta pay attention. Feelings from the past, yeah, you gotta pay attention. They won't say my name, but they put it in a mention. Too much sneak dissing, yeah, we need an intervention. Right before the fall, I swear my niggas, they won't listen. Right before the fall, you took them pills, you got addicted. Right before the fall, you run your mouth, you turn to dentist. Free my niggas in the cage, know that shit get lonely. You was with me from the start, but you did me phony. Look my bitch right in the eyes, tell her she my only. Poppin' shit on Instagram, they don't even know me. Had to turn my savage up to turn me to the old me. Killers moving silent, so I gotta kill them softly. Lie better, little baby, but lie better. You playing the other side on God out. Trendsetter, no talking, I did better. They watching my moves, flying my moves. I did let up, I kept it a thigh. Niggas get shifty, I dead. Something I'm moving around. Had to get to it, this bread, something they want me to drown. Remember they told me I was nothing. I've been through some things. On God, baby, I can't front it. Feelings from the past, yeah, you gotta pay attention. They won't say my name, but they put it in a mention. Too much sneak dissing, yeah, we need an intervention. Right before the fall, I swear my niggas, they won't listen. Right before the fall, you took them pills, you got addicted. Right before the fall, you run your mouth, you turn to dentist. Free my niggas in the cage, know that shit get lonely. You was with me from the start, but you did me phony. Look my bitch right in the eyes, tell her she my only. Poppin' shit on Instagram, they don't even know me. Had to turn my savage up to turn me to the old me. Killers moving silent, so I gotta kill them softly. Do better, you said that you do better. These niggas playing at 50, I really got moved better. I got these on my block, I can't play round. I position one my life, I can't play round. We gon' get it back in blood if they stay round. Know them niggas off the drugs, they gon' lay down. I was love, you put me right in the middle. Got niggas that screaming gang and niggas that wanna kill you. They got feelings from the past, pay attention. They only sending shots cause these niggas want attention. Won't be no RIP, heli in the mention. Putting threats on my name, make me turn them to a pension. Feelings from the past, yeah, you gotta pay attention. They won't say my name, but they put it in a mention. Too much sneak dissing, yeah, we need an intervention. Right before the fall, I swear my niggas, they won't listen. Right before the fall, you took them pills, you got addicted. Right before the fall, you run your mouth, you turn to dentist. Free my niggas in the cage, know that shit get lonely. You was with me from the start, but you did me phony. Look my bitch right in the eyes, tell her she my only. Poppin' shit on Instagram, they don't even know me. Had to turn my savage up to turn me to the old me. Killers moving silent, so I gotta kill them softly.
Shout out to everybody in the building. Hopefully everybody's having a great Monday. Hopefully everybody's having a great Grand Rising. Shout out to everyone that's in the building. It's your brother Aboriginal Power, man. Y'all know what channel this is, man. Y'all know the vibes that's over here. Y'all not new to the channel, man. And if you're new to, if you is new to the channel, make sure you hit that subscribe button and don't get to hit the notification bell. A lot of y'all ain't hit the notification bell. That's why y'all shit don't be popping up when they go live. Y'all catching it late the next day. Just hit the notification bell. And I'm gonna take the time out to shout out some of my brothers and sisters that took their time out to comment in the chat. So yeah, we're gonna do that right now, man. Shout out to Crypto. Shout out to Crypto Cakes Cartel. Shout out to Erica Grenzel, Arthur Livingston, Jaguar Clout, Yanira, House of Nathan, Book Boulam, Kyle Finch. I hope I pronounced that right. Roger W. Anthony Lowe, Elizabeth Young, Aboriginal TV. Shout out to my big brother Aboriginal TV. X8 DEV Hefe. Shout out to Hefe in the motherfucking building. If you ain't smoking on that Asteroids, make sure y'all go DM my brother on Instagram at Asteroid Co. On Instagram, DM using promotion code Aborigine, and you'll get your Aboriginal discount on all your hand-grown organic herbs, hand-grown by Aboriginal Black-owned business. Make sure y'all go support that. Shout out to TT Portier. Shout out to Ern Jordan, Shy Alpha, Stephanie Burks, Tim Calasippi, Natural X, The Brother X, Mountain City Mellow, Popcorn Outages, Gab Cass, Haru the Duke of Great Lakes, Bronze Flat Power, and Craig Lloyd. Shout out to everybody that is in the building, man. Hopefully I didn't forget anybody or overlook anyone. Shout out to General Peace for popping in. Shout out to Nora Porte. Shout out to Nori Porte. Nora Porte in the building. But yeah, man, y'all see the title, man. See the title, man. We got some shit lined up for you guys today, man. I kind of want to get into a few things as we break down this whole cloning situation. Y'all, we briefly touched on the baby incubators in one of my builds that I did on the Philadelphia World's Fair. So if y'all have not got to see that, make sure you go to the channel and go check that out. Big Aboriginal Power, Chicago's and Philadelphia World's Fair. We talk about the baby incubators. We hear a lot about how black people or so-called Negroes created white people, and some people automatically think primitive, and some people are under the understanding that it was the deliberate scientific move that how these Europeans or pale skins was created. So we're gonna get into that here in just a second, man. I don't want to hold you guys up any longer, but I do want to kind of say peace and blessings to everybody in the building. Hopefully y'all getting ready. It's gonna be one of the ones. Hopefully y'all enjoy this live stream. I do got some audio and video lined up for you guys that we're gonna be breaking down to go along with the conversation. And I probably will be dropping a link at the end of the video so we can have some more dialogue. So let's get right into it. All right. So let's get right into the conversation of incubators, babies. Let's get into it.
Being located in but before we get to that, are there any ancient references to any type of repopulation factories? We've made references to this before, but now is the perfect time to dive into the detail on the ancient symbol of Artemis, or Diana of Ephesus. Diana is the Latin name and Artemis Greek. She was essentially the great mother goddess of fertility.
So did y'all hear what he's saying? He's saying, is there any ancient references of cities or populations in world planning? Yeah, you got the whole story in the Bible that talks about gene splicing and rapidly repopulating the world. As a matter of fact, it's one of the most notable known stories within the Bible. It's called the story of Noah, the great flood of Noah, him gathering up his few family members, and those few family members rapidly repopulate the world in less than 100 years. So what we're talking about is potentially gene splicing or baby incubation, which is the same thing. You have to do gene splicings and into the scientific realm to incubate these babies and to create them to manifest factories. As a matter of fact, they had a list of children that was at the Chicago and Philadelphia World's Fair, and they was displaying these children as incubating children. And these are children that's now grown up to become your CEOs and your normal people in your daily life. But these people are not natural born. They're science and lab created. And my question I want to propose to you guys is, where are these ancient incubators that was creating babies in the 1800s? Where are these facilities now? And have they elevated and advanced their technology? That's the question I'm proposing to you guys. So, hey, don't go nowhere. We ain't
They
gonna.
recently
we
added
just getting
it,
started.
which is still interesting because there is some very blatant symbolism in that movie. I don't believe that timing is a coincidence. But before we get to that, are there any ancient references to any type of repopulation factories? We've made references to this before, but now is the perfect time to dive into the detail on the ancient.
As a matter of fact, the story of Noah's Ark directly goes into gene splicing, into baby incubation. As a matter of fact, it tells you that Noah's Ark was specifically built to hold two of each animal, two of each species. And what it doesn't tell you is that it was also to help hold the species of the races that we see today. You're dealing with ancient baby incubation. And we got to understand that Noah's story in realistic history is explaining the advanced society that we call Atlantis, is that we call Amaru. This is the advanced sciences that was going on. And after the fall of Atlantis, a lot of this science was apprehended, gathered, and stored, and wherever they set sail to, this is where they reinvented and reopened and re-showed the world this new technology. There's no way that you have the whole world flooded, just one family on a boat that repopulates the entire world in less than 100 years. Even less than 500 years. You shouldn't get the whole population of the world with different ethnicities and stuff like that out of one particular family. This is ancient gene slicing. The Adam and Eve story, gene slicing. Do y'all understand what I'm saying here? So when we get into these ancient incubator stories. They're told in romantic literature and poetic literature. They're not told in a deliberate way as you've seen in the 1800s. They literally told you that these are anchor babies and they was created during incubators during the 1889 Philadelphia World's Fair. And that's critical to having an understanding about ancient population of cloning. People thinking this cloning process is new. You think cloning process is new? No, the reason you even have twins is because of the ancient genetic tweak that our ancestors used, which created the whole cloning process. So when you see a twin, this is a gene that was altered in the past that has popped back up to show you that this genetic splicing can recur in a human being. So not only can it happen in a human incubator where you're gene splicing and creating a clone from something, it can happen in physical and real reality by genetic alterations. And that's what has happened in the past. This is what happened in the past. This is how you even get twins. This is this whole psychological ability, and these anchor babies are tied to it. The ones that's done natural from a natural incubator have these natural abilities. The ones that's done in a lab lack those. Everybody said Gucci Man was cloned. Young Dolph was cloned. Will Smith is. You may be right. Because I'm in Delaware right now, and I just rode by a hospital. It's called the J.P. Morgan and DuPont Experimental Hospital. I just rode by yesterday. I was like, "What the fuck is this?" And it's all private land. It's a huge castle that looks like it's probably 5,000 years old on the land. It has nothing to do with the facility, but it's on the land. And I'm riding by. I said, "Experimental Hospital." So I go to Googling as I'm driving. And this hospital deals with gene splicing. The hospital I rode by is the first hospital to do gene splicing on a billy goat successfully. And this is a large facility. So what I'm saying is these ancient incubators and the system has been hidden away. A lot of the systems that was already here, these incubator systems and labs, was something that your ancestors created. They formulated and took those and try to coin them test tube babies. And they created these facilities and they locked it off from the public and turned it into a private. But the whole incubator thing was done in the public. We're going to get into the rest of this video. So let's get the light
There's
bulb.
some very blatant symbolism in that movie. I don't believe that timing is a coincidence. But before we get to that, are there any ancient references to any type of repopulation factories? We've made references to this before, but now is the perfect time to dive into the detail on the ancient symbol of Artemis, or Diana of Ephesus. Diana is the Latin name and Artemis Greek. She was essentially the great mother goddess of fertility. Artemis, in classical mythology, is associated with the virgin goddess of the hunt, forest, and animals. But strangely, Ephesus being located in Asia Minor saw a great deal of Oriental influence mixing with the Greek, creating an entirely new symbol. The Ephesians believed both Artemis and Apollo to have been born in a grove called Ortygia, which is also very close to the ancient Greek name for Ireland, Ogygia, the ancient land of forest, which would have been the birthplace of the first repopulation center after the flood of many ancient religious texts. So the Ephesians believed that their gods, the ones that they dedicated their entire lives to worshipping, were themselves born of an ancient grove. But not only that, they put an extra emphasis on the symbol of fertility, depicting their goddess with many breasts, or what looks like eggs, and her legs are held tightly together. In Strabo's geography, he states that, quote, on the same coast, slightly above the sea, is also Ortygia, which is a magnificent grove of all kinds of trees, of the cypress most of all. It is traversed by the Kentrius River, where Leto is said to have bathed herself after her travail. For here is the mythical scene of the birth, and of the nurse Ortygia, and of the holy place where the birth took place, and of the olive tree nearby. where the goddesses.
So now let's look at this. This is how the thing gave birth. Inside of a damn tube. Inside of a damn beaker. A giant beaker. These are test tube babies. I don't want y'all to go nowhere because we just getting it cracking. I'm just giving y'all the pre-lam. I'm giving y'all the pre-lam to what the hell is going on. I want to get into these ancient incubators that I was telling you about in the World's Fair, just to show y'all that we're gonna proceed to get into that right now. All right, so I'm gonna need everybody in here to hit that like button and thumb up the video. Everybody to thumb up the video, seriously. So let's get right into that right now, man. Let's go. You know what I'm saying?
About the mysterious case of showman Dr. Martin Cooney, who was apparently the mastermind behind the bizarre phenomena of incubator babies during the World Fair era, during the late 1800s and early 1900s. The strange case of Dr. Cooney, how a mysterious European showman saved thousands of American babies. Dr. Martin Cooney opened a baby incubator exhibit in 1903 at Coney Island's newest seaside attraction, Luna Park. Premature babies were displayed at Lake Street Amusement Park. Premature babies would seem to be the least likely people to be part of a worldwide movement. Yet the Wonderland babies were precisely that. They were among the 80,000 premature infants who were treated in amusement parks and fairs in Europe and the United States between 1896 and 1944. Wonderland Amusement Park, which was located at Lake Street and 31st Avenue, opened for business in late May 1905. Wonderland and other parks like it were part of America's love affair with technology and provided fairgoers with the opportunity to see the wonders of modern science and carnival atmosphere. One of those wonders was the Infantorium, a hospital-like facility filled with incubators containing tiny babies who were born prematurely. The babies were not advertised as entertainment, but rather as scientific exhibit of the modern method of saving the premature born babies. In case you're wondering where many of these premature babies came from, a good percentage of these babies were foundlings, aka orphans during the 1800s. And that's a whole mystery on its own. During the late 1800s, there was a worldwide phenomenon of orphans.
First of all, these kids are not orphans. These are not orphan trains. That's what they. Let's be real. They are orphans technically, and they was put on a train, but they did not come from no various different places. These are the overwhelming incubator babies that they have created in those facilities. They didn't have nowhere to store them. So what they do, they created an elaborate story of orphan kids coming out of nowhere on these trains, and people started adopting these little things. Nanny or Annie, what the hell that little lady is? She's an orphan child. That's a Cabbage Patch. That's a test tube. That's an incubator baby. Incubator baby, Cabbage Patch, test tube, they all the same. Who you think owned these facilities? We talking about the 1800s. We already know that most of the people who ran the infrastructure in America was Negroes. We know that Mr. Uster, who died on the Titanic in the 1900s, owned 47% of America's mortgage. So that means he was a rich Negro that owned a lot of business. See, what you got to understand is niggas fucked up. Niggas was just on some science advanced shit, and what we did, we started the cloning process. We started gene splicing fruit and vegetables, and then we started doing humans. Test tube babies like Rob Noxious. Incubator babies like my brother Rob. See, we got to be clear about these. Where's these test tube incubator facilities that was around the 1800s? Where are they now? Why haven't you heard anything about it? Why is there no talk about this? Get into some more.
Prematurely. The babies were not a facility built on technology and provided fairgoers with the opportunity to see the wonders of modern science and carnival atmosphere. One of those wonders was the Infantorium, a hospital-like facility filled with incubators containing tiny babies who were born prematurely. The babies were not advertised as entertainment, but rather as scientific exhibit of the modern method of saving the premature born babies. In case you're wondering where many of these premature babies came from, a good percentage of these babies were foundlings, aka orphans during the 1800s. And that's a whole mystery on its own. During the late 1800s, there was a worldwide phenomenon of orphans. In Europe, in the Americas, and Asia, this phenomenon was everywhere. It's as if some kind of reset happened. So these are the infantoriums displayed at these world fairs. And a good chunk, I don't know the exact number because the records for a lot of these were lost, but a huge chunk of these premature babies were foundlings, were orphans. No record of their family, where they even came from. It's as if they appeared out of thin air. But what makes this whole entire thing very strange is the fact that 80,000 or more of these premature babies were displayed at these mysterious looking world fairs during the late 1800s and early 1900s. And the world fairs are a whole mystery on its own that I will talk about in future videos. But between 18...
Yeah, the whole fairs is a mystery of its own because they don't want to tell you that this science that they said that was magnificent, they destroyed it because it was existed and created and it was attached to a prior civilization that your ancestors are connected to. While they was destroying your ancestors' magnificent accomplishments, they was rewriting history to tell you who you was. There's no reason they got rid of hundreds of thousands of structures, concrete and brick structures, metal structures, during the time that half of America and the West Coast, a lot of these pilgrims was living in tents. They was living in tents and living in log cabins during the time of the Chicago and Philadelphia World's Fair. There's no reason for them to get rid of those structures. And the science that they had there, they haven't even emulated it, nor advanced, nor brought this to the world. They had travelators. Y'all know what a travelator is, you guys? A travelator is a sidewalk that's automatically and mechanically made. So you can step on the sidewalk and it will take you to the other end of the sidewalk naturally without you never having to take a step. Almost like an escalator, but for a sidewalk. It's called a travelator. This was in the 1800s, brother. They had this. You mean to tell me that they haven't advanced from that to where all society and neighborhoods and especially high class areas doesn't have travelators now? There should be a whole travelator sidewalk system outside of every nursing home. Because they're hiding this science because it didn't belong to them. This is something that they have organically stole and tried to erase and dismiss because it belongs to you. Let's continue.
1996 and 1944, 80,000 or more premature babies were treated at these amusement parks. You would think that this type of incubator technology would be displayed at a hospital or some kind of facility to study these things. But it was at amusement parks throughout the world. Baby incubators. Just incredibly bizarre. Here's a picture of one of the infantoriums at these amusement parks. Infant incubators. Now the sign kind of threw me off a bit. Infant incubators with living infants? Why do they have to imply that it has to live?
Now listen. Y'all see it right there on the screen. I'm not saying this. This is not nothing that I'm just cooking up out of nowhere. There's some shit that people already is saying. Hey, Rob Noxious, you know what? I really did, bro, because when I went through elementary school, right, I went through the elements. That's the periodic table. I had an understanding of how I manifest. Then I went to the middle school, which is the middle ground, which is where we right now understanding this 3D understanding that we're in, and understanding that we're four-dimensional. When you get to high school, you come to the high science of understanding this world. Yes. And yes, I have left Earth because now I teach the universities, which is the universe. See, yeah, I'm on another plane of existence. Hey, I'm sorry that the story of how the white man, everybody through time been telling you that the white man was created, the pale was created. How come you don't see no black incubator babies? Because the defect of creating anchor babies was that it was never introduced and electrified by the sun or has no carbon. So by forfeit, all the babies come out lacking melanin. You won't see a black anchor baby, test tube baby, cabbage patch baby. This is part of the defects, which is how we observe you, Rob. I'm sorry.
Infant incubators. Now, the sign kind of threw me off a bit. Infant incubators with living infants? Like, why do they have to imply that it has living infants? Very bizarre and very strange. This is why I love the 1800s. It's such a mysterious time in history. So many weird things happening. But yeah, very weird stuff. But if you guys did enjoy this video, I do have a YouTube channel where I post longer content. This is a video I made 2 days ago about the Void Century. Just all about the 1800s and how mysterious.
So yeah, man, you pretty much seen this guy breaking down this whole incubator baby situation. So even in the past, they was talking about how it was growing children. Hell, one of the earliest movie films in the 1900s, literally 1900, was talking about the anchor baby, the incubator babies, the test tube babies. You understand me? One of the earliest films was showing you that how they unorganically growing these babies. Matter of fact, I'm about to put it on the screen for you. I'm about to show you the video right now. If y'all ready for it, let's get to it right now, man. I'm about to play this right now, man. Let's get straight into this test tube baby shit. Cabbage Patch babies. Watch it. Boom. She done picked the baby up out of a patch of lettuce. That's some bullshit. She done picked the baby up out of a patch of lettuce. This is them fake. This is an early movie film. This is metaphorical for this. We're growing children. We're growing them. They're not coming in baby inside of the womb no more. We can just put them inside of this thing and grow the babies. That's what they telling you. You don't even understand this. Boom, and look at why she just threw it on the ground. Boom, just threw that little motherfucker. He just started wrestling and screaming. Look at him. They don't even give a fuck. Look, picked another one up. Like, ooh, look, I found another one. Look, Cabbage Patch, baby. I'm gonna throw this on the ground. I'm gonna eat these motherfuckers later on. See, look, this is another way. Look, notice she dressed up in royalty. See, this is another way that they're growing these babies to eat them. They was also eating these children. The royal family in England has always been known to eat children, allegedly. This is them metaphorically saying that they grew and created these incubators and took a hold of it just to eat these children. That's what I'm trying to tell y'all. Drop a fire emoji if y'all understand what I'm saying out here. Support the channel, man. We ain't even got started yet. We about to go in. We just got to use common sense right here. Why would these royal families be saying that they eat children? And in the early 1900s, you got this lady looking royal, picking little babies up out the Cabbage Patch for them, throwing them on the ground as if she about to get ready to prepare them for tonight's meal. Allegedly. I'm just telling you, man. Pay attention. These are incubator babies. We're going to get into it. This shit go back to thousands, 10,000, 20,000 years ago. Look, she found another one. Look, threw him on the ground. Is that even alive? Hold on. Is that baby even alive? That baby didn't look alive. Hold on. It ain't moved. Look, you see how she looked at it first? And it, look, it ain't moved. It ain't moved at all. Oh my God, they just got a dead baby. Oh my goodness. Oh my God. No, they didn't. No, the fuck they didn't. Damn. Remember it said in that just video, it said anchor babies dead or alive. You know, live incubators as if it's dead ones. Come on, man. Wake up. Wake up. Come on. I want y'all to pay attention. Do it look like the baby? Look how she looked right quick. Look, she looked like, what's going on? Boom. Then you watch the scene edited. It's going to cut as if something happened. Watch this. Boom. It cut. You see how it cut? Pay attention to the cut. That's ancient editing. That's the first edit. Boom. You see? You seen that, right? Then boom. Watch it go back. Watch it. Boom. Something going on wrong. And then she like, huh? And then boom. Look. What is that? And picking up real babies that's been moving the whole damn time. Hold on. Look, a real baby. Look. She picked this one up from way over there. Look, it's moving. Look like it got a tail and shit too. Hold on. Let me go back to that. Damn, this old film. It looked like it got a tail, man. I don't know. It looked like a little tail right here. See, I'm on everything right now. I'm not playing no game. Yeah, it's a play. It's a play of them playing on your damn mind. They picking babies up out of a cabbage patch. Niggas love to eat cabbage. They know niggas love to eat cabbage. Shout out to my nigga Jaguar Omac. He makes some damn good cabbage. Now they picking little babies up, just throwing them on the ground like a sack of like some taters. They just gotta wash them little dirty things off before they go munch on them. Now listen, all the other babies is moving except for that one that she start looking weird at. Now let's pay attention. Pay attention. Look, even this one moving. Look how she just picking them up and just throwing them on the ground. Boom, head slapped down and everything. Listen, man. That no damn movie set, man. She just throwing them babies down. Look at her. Watch this. She didn't give a fuck. Look, boom, head hit the ground and everything. Head hit the ground, baby yelling, crying. You lucky it ain't no sound on these motherfucking movies. That'll be a lot of goddamn crying in this motherfucking scene right here. They need to call CPS on these goddamn beasts. Now listen, let's look at all the rest of the babies moving. And I'm stuck on that. Look, it's moving. Now watch this. She doing all this little tap dance and shit. We already know Princess Elizabeth eat children. And it's ironic they putting them out of a cabbage patch. Look, no movement. The camera movement trying to make it seem like it's moving, but no, it's not moving. The other ones is, man. That's what I'm trying to tell you. These are incubators. These people be eating these children, man. They showing you that they have been incubating these babies since the beginning of fucking time, and it's going back to an ancient science. We didn't eat them. We was just cloning other shit. Yeah, we started cloning and created these pale skins, but obviously we ain't the ones that got control of this shit now. We lost 47% of the mortgages and infrastructure in America after the Titanic during the 1900s. So it's ironic in the 1900s, you see who making a film of pulling babies out of a cabbage patch, throwing them on the ground. We got to be real with ourselves here. These people put this shit in front of you. They don't say that they eating children. The Pizzagate. Hell, Rabbi Finkelstein said that they was putting children food inside of McDonald's. Come on, man. Allegedly. Y'all gotta wake up. You're too naive to believe in this story, to say one thing is a lie and then just believe the whole other shit that they tell you. Let's get into the rest of these ancient cloning and incubation, the history of baby incubation. Who created these pale skins? That's the question that I'm asking to the chat. Let's get to it, y'all.
Holy place where the birth took place, and of the olive tree nearby, where the goddess is said first to have taken a rest after she was relieved from her travail. Above the grove lies Mount Sulmices, where it is said that Curites stationed themselves and with the din of their arms frightened Hera out of her wits when she was jealously spying on Leto, and when they helped Leto to conceal from Hera the birth of her children. There are several temples in the place, some ancient and others built in later times, and in the ancient temples are many ancient wooden images. But in those of later times, there are the works of Scopas, for example, Leto holding a scepter and Ortygia standing beside her with a child in each arm. A general festival is held there annually, and by a certain custom they use via for honor, particularly in the splendor of their banquets there. At that time also, a special college of the Curites holds symposiums and performs certain mystic sacrifices. End quote. Her temple was in the ancient city of Ephesus, a great port city. This temple was one of the 7 wonders of the world and was described as the largest temple or building of antiquity. This ancient structure served as a place for cult worship, with mystical rituals involving sacrifice to this multi-breasted goddess of divine fertility. This temple was not only a religious center, but an economic center. It was an essential bank, as no one dared to steal from a holy place. It was supposedly the largest bank of its time. The temple was rebuilt multiple times throughout history. A variety of different versions were said to have been constructed, as it was destroyed by many different invaders, including Christians who tore it down to remove all pagan remains.
Now you hear that? It said it was removed and tore down by Christian and to get rid of all pagan remains. Now, anything that's labeled pagan is dealing with ancient spiritual systems. They label ancient spiritual systems paganistic. Okay? So don't get that confused. That's they talking about your ancient ancestors. And it's ironic when they talking about in the 1800s, 1600s, they showing you buildings like you see at Harvard, like you see at your downtown, like you see at your old city. These buildings right here are connected to your ancient ancestral lineage. You are of royal blood. You listen, that bum, that crackhead, that black nigga on the porch eating pork chop sandwiches has more royal blood inside of him than any of them pale skins you see over there on that TV in England, in that place that they call England today.
Versions were said to have been constructed, as it was destroyed by many different invaders, including Christians who tore it down to remove all pagan remains. These seeding operations were not limited to one location. Yet, many legends refer to this idea of the mother goddess and her children, for many of these histories have been disguised in the form of myth. In Plato's most prized work, Timaeus, he reveals the secret of cycles and resets of advanced civilizations, and that there have been more than one deluge. Quote, in the first place, you remember a single deluge only, but there were many previous ones. In the next place, you do not know that there formerly dwelt in your land the fairest and noblest race of men which ever lived, and that you and your whole city are descended from a small seed or remnant of them which survived. End quote. Now, at first it may seem as just a literary device, but the term seed is used again in Timaeus. Quote, Solon marveled at his words and earnestly requested the priest to inform him exactly in order about these former citizens. You are welcome to hear about them, Solon, said the priest, both for your own sake and for that of your city, and above all, for the sake of the goddess who is the common patron and parent and educator of both our cities. She founded your city 1,000 years before ours, receiving from the earth and Hephaestus the seed of your race, and afterwards she founded ours. End quote. Later in Timaeus, it gets very alchemical and begins describing the creation of man using the same terminology. Quote, the bones and flesh and other similar parts of us were made as follows.
Hey, now listen, you know when he just said about Solon, let me run that back because the Solon story is dealing with the Atlantis story. And I told you that the Bible has romanticized and put in poetic literature talking about the Atlantis story, except they don't call him Tahuti. who gave birth to many nations. They don't call him Thoth, that gave birth to many races. They call him Noah. They don't call it the Atlantis deluge. They call it the great flood of Jesus, of God, or whatnot. You see what I'm saying? So what you're potentially talking about is two different stories told from two different perspectives or from different time frames. You know how one story could be from the beginning of when it first happened, and then somebody telling the story 200 years later, or 100 years later, or from a grandchild, from a great grandchild, from a great 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 grandchild. So this is what you're potentially looking at. Okay. Shout out to everybody in the building. If y'all enjoying this live stream, drop a fire emoji in the chat, man. If y'all enjoying, I'll start kicking out more of these. Y'all gotta let me know that y'all rocking with them. Cause I need some more. I got some more heat. I need y'all to support the channel too, man. Support the channel. Hit that like button. Thumb up the video. It's very important for you guys to thumb up the video. That lets the YouTube analytics and algorithm know that y'all enjoy it, and it kicks it out in front of other people that potentially wouldn't be able to, Big Out Original channel, or that don't normally watch Big Out Original channel. So help push the algorithm, hit the like button, support the channel. Cash App and PayPal information is at the bottom of the screen, ticking across. Let's go.
Solomon marveled at his words and earnestly requested the priest to inform him exactly in order about these former citizens. "You are welcome to hear about them, Solon," said the priest, "both for your own sake and for that of your city, and above all, for the sake of the goddess who is the common patron and parent and educator of both our cities. She founded your city 1,000 years before ours, receiving from the earth and Hephaestus the seed of your race, and afterwards she founded ours." End quote. Later in Timaeus, it gets very alchemical and begins describing the creation of man using the same terminology. Quote, "The bones and flesh and other similar parts of us were made as follows. The first principle of all of them was the generation of the marrow, for the bonds of life which unite the soul which the body are made fast there, and they are the root and foundation of the human race. The marrow itself is created out of other materials. God took such of the primary triangles as were straight and smooth, and were adapted by perfection to produce fire and water, and air and earth. These, I say, he separated from their kinds, and mingling them in due proportions with one another, made the marrow out of them to be a universal seed of the whole race of mankind. And in this seed, he then planted and enclosed the souls, and in the original distribution, gave to the marrow as many and various forms as the different kinds of souls were hereafter to receive. That which, like a field, was to receive the divine seed, he made round every way, and called that portion of the marrow brain, intending that when an animal was perfected, the vessel containing the substance should be the head. But that which was intended to contain the remaining immortal part of the soul he distributed into figures at once around and elongated, and he called them all by name, marrow, and to these, as to anchors fastening the bonds of the whole soul, he proceeded to fashion around them the entire framework of our body, constructing for the marrow, first of all, a complete covering of bone. End quote.
Rise of Kingdoms PC version is out of beta. ROK is a historically based strategy game available for free on mobile and
Timaeus continues to describe in detail how the gods created us and uses a garden as a reference, which is very strange. At first you think he's just talking about God and the soul, and then he says, quote, "But our creators, considering whether they should make a longer-lived race, which was worse, or a shorter-lived race, which was better, came to the conclusion that everyone ought to prefer a shorter span of life, which was better, to a longer one, which was worse. And therefore they covered the head with thin bone, but not with flesh and sinews, since it had no joints, and thus the head was added, having more wisdom and sensation than the rest of the body. But also, being in every man far weaker. For these reasons and after this manner, God placed the sinews at the extremity of the head, and a circle around the neck, and glued them together by the principle of likeness, and fastened the extremities of the jawbones to them below the face, and the other sinews he dispersed throughout the body, fastening limb to limb. The framers of us framed the mouth, as now arranged, having teeth and tongue and lips, with a view to the necessary and the good, contriving the way in for necessary purposes, the way out for the best purposes, for that is necessary which enters in and gives food to the body. But the river of speech, which flows out of man and ministers to the intelligence, is the fairest and noblest of all streams. Still, the head could neither be left a bare frame of bones on account of the extremes of heat and cold in the different seasons, nor yet be allowed to be wholly covered and become so dull and senseless by reason of the overgrowth of flesh. The fleshy nature was not therefore wholly dried up, but a large sort of peel was parted off and remained over, which is now called the skin. This met and grew by the help of the cerebral moisture, and became the circular envelopment of the head. For our creators well knew that women and other animals would someday be framed out of men, and they further knew that many animals would require the use of nails for many purposes, wherefore they fashioned in men at their first creation the rudiments of nails. For this purpose and for these reasons they caused skin, hair, and nails to grow at the extremities of the limbs. And now that all the parts and members of the mortal animal had come together, since his life of necessity consisted of fire and breath, and it therefore wasted away by dissolution and depletion, the gods contrived the following remedy. They mingled a nature akin to that of a man with other forms and perceptions, and thus created another kind of animal. These are the trees and plants and seeds which have been improved by cultivation and are now domesticated among us. Anciently, there were only the will kinds, which are older than the cultivated. For everything that partakes of life may be truly called a living being, and the animal of which we are now speaking partakes of the third kind of soul, which is said to be seated between the midriff and the navel, having no part in opinion or reason or mind, but only in feelings of pleasure and pain and the desires which accompany them. For this nature is always in a passive state, revolving in and about itself, repelling the motion from without and using its own, and accordingly is not endowed by nature with the power of observing or reflecting on its own concerns. Wherefore, it lives does not differ from a living being, but it is fixed and rooted in the same spot, having no power of self-motion. Now, after the superior powers had created all these natures to be food for us who are of the inferior nature, they cut various channels through the body as through a garden, that it may be watered as from a running stream. End quote. There's more to cover on that.
Do you hear this? It's pretty
To keep
much
things moving,
it's pretty much romantic literature about how to go through the scientific process of creating and incubating a baby, to even starting the splicing process, to start the creation process. You're pretty much looking at ancient gene splicing told to you in this ancient old English in poetic literature form.
he's basically describing how our creators took one of our original forms and transformed it to be more of a material.
Right. That's exactly what it's saying. Exactly. And by the way, we're watching this video all for the first time today. This is my first time watching this video as well. So we all watching and breaking it down live. You know what I'm saying? So shout out to Leonardo for the cash out donation as well, man. Shout out to Leonardo for the cash out donation. Thank you, brother. We appreciate that. Shout out to Leonardo for the cash out donation. Thank you, brother. Let's continue the live stream. Make sure y'all support the channel. Don't let Leonardo be the only Aboriginal or brother to support the channel today. All right? Make sure y'all support the channel, man. Let's continue with this.
There's more to cover on that. But to keep things moving, he's basically describing how our creators took one of our original forms and transformed it to be more of a material nature attached to the primal senses, no power of self-will, to make them less like gods. A very strange process in which the flesh attaches itself to the bones. But it's more than just some spiritual metaphysical explanation of how bodies are formed. But it seems to be some type of manual, as there are decisions that need to be made. The creators had to choose how long these beings would live, and it seems that the original seed had much longer lifespans. In the end, he explains that the seed is a womb. Also, It is clear he is making a distinction between God, who created the soul, and the gods, who had manipulated the physical bodies. Okay, this one is the last paragraph to go
Now
through.
let's break that down. Rob, don't build hurt when it's talking about the creation of pale skins and it's talking about the superior race, the gods who created you. Negroes created you. I'm gonna just say it flat out in modern terms. We speak in English. Hey, I'm talking to a bunch of brothers and sisters. Niggas created pale skins in ancient times. They created the system to splice genes that was from vegetables, plant life, and that was from human life. And that was stolen. Our patent, our understanding of the system of how it works was stolen by the same people. And it's not ironic. You know what's crazy is? I told you that 47% of the mortgage in the world, when we're dealing with this experimental system, this shit, incubators, this shit happened in the 1800s. I told you who held and owned 47% of the mortgage. One person, he was a Negro, right? So you got to allude that other Negroes, which we have facts of, own a lot of businesses and have wealth and political seating in American 1800s. What's crazy is that on the Titanic, Mr. Uster, who owned 47% of the America's mortgage, was on that ship. You know who else was supposed to be on that ship? J.P. Morgan and the Rockefellers. The Rockefellers also go by another name, the DuPonts. Ain't it ironic that this experimental hospital were gene splicing and who also owns 47% of Delaware's mortgage is J.P. Morgan and the DuPonts? Do y'all find that ironic? I'm just saying, it's a lot to take in here, but hopefully y'all up to speed. If y'all with me, drop a fire emoji in the chat.
Who had manipulated the physical bodies. Okay, this one is the last paragraph to go through, and it's important because it's the ending to Timaeus. Quote, thus our original design of discoursing about the universe down to the creation of man is nearly complete. A brief mention may be made of the generation of other animals, so far as the subject admits of brevity. In this manner, our argument will best attain a due proportion. On the subject of animals, then the following remarks may be offered. Of the men who came into the world, those who were cowards or led unrighteous lives may with reason be supposed to have changed into the nature of women in the second generation. Okay, wait, hold up. What is he talking about?
Wherever today takes you, whatever.
Sorry about the ads, you guys. Sorry about the ads.
Because for more.
But listen, while we got a little break right here, man, listen, do y'all understand what I'm saying? Is it ironic that these same people who were supposed to be on the ship, right, and who took over 47% of the world's mortgage, all of a sudden is the ones who's running 40% of the world's mortgage, and they got them spread out through different names like J.P. Morgan, DuPont, Carnegie, Rockefeller, Rothschild. They all the same goddamn bloodline of Nazis, yo. These may be potential people that was the early stage of incubator babies. Because we know incubator babies was around. Okay? So pay attention.
The unrighteous lives may with reason be supposed to have changed into the nature of women in the second generation. Okay, wait, hold up. What is he talking about? Well, we will come back to this, but he's speaking of a great race of humans that were once androgynous. This is an ancient esoteric secret that is referenced by many Greek philosophers several times. So he is saying that these original humans turned into women due to their natures, meaning these androgynous beings did not reproduce, and it also seems that they did not eat or drink at all, the original gods. And he continues, quote, and this was the reason why at the time the gods created us in the desire of sexual intercourse, contriving in man one animated substance, and in the woman another, which they formed respectively in the following manner. So there you go. These gods, which remember, is not the same as God, but these gods gave us sexual intercourse by design to make us more like animals. Quote, the outlet for drink by which liquids pass through the lung under the kidneys and into the bladder, which receives them by the pressure of the air amidst them, was so fashioned by them as to penetrate also into the body of the marrow, which passes from the head along the neck and through the back, and which in the preceding discourse we have named the seed. And the seed having life and becoming endowed with respiration produces in that part in which it respires a lively desire of emission, and thus creates in us the love of procreation.
Listen,
Wherefore, also in men the organ of generation.
do you understand what it's saying? It's talking about the gene process again, step by step, how to do it scientifically. Shout out to Jamie Lattimore for the Cash App donation. She said for unification for all melanated people worldwide. I agree with you, sister. I'm in total agreement with you. Shout out to you, Jamie Lattimore. Shout out to you. Appreciate the Cash App donation. Thank you. Make sure y'all support the channel too, man. I appreciate all the support.
In that part in which it respires a lively desire of emission, and thus creates in us the love of procreation. Wherefore, also in men the organ of generation becoming rebellious and masterful, like an animal disobedient to reason, and maddened with
Yeah,
the
I'll run
same
that back.
lust.
I'll run that back. I'll run that back. I'll run that back. I'll run that back.
So there you go. These gods, which remember, is not the same as God, but these gods gave us sexual intercourse by design to make us more like animals. Quote, the outlet for drink by which liquids pass through the lung under the kidneys and into the bladder, which receives them by the pressure of the air amidst them, was so fashioned by them as to penetrate also into the body of the marrow, which passes from the head along the neck and through the back, and which in the preceding discourse we have named the seed. And the seed having life and becoming endowed with respiration produces in that part in which it respires a lively desire of emission, and thus creates in us the love of procreation. Wherefore, also in men the organ of generation becoming rebellious and masterful, like an animal disobedient to reason, and maddened with the sting of lust, seeks to gain absolute sway. And the same is the case with the so-called womb, or matrix of women. The animal within them is desirous of procreating children, and remaining unfruitful long beyond its proper time, gets discontented and angry, and wandering in every direction through the body, closes up the passages of the breath, and by obstructing respiration, drives them to extremity, causing all varieties of diseases, until at length the desire and love of the man and the woman, bringing them together as it were plucking the fruit from a tree, so in the womb, as in a field, animals unseen by reason of their smallness and without form. These again are separated and matured within. They are then finally brought out into the light, and thus the generation of animals is completed.
It's literally talking about incubating a baby. You can't bring it out till they hit a certain age because they gotta hit because of the age it needs to get sunlight. Do you not hear the goddamn process? Like it's in the romantic literature in a fucking nutshell. It's talking about incubators. It's talking about test tube babies. This is going back in the 15, 16, 1400s. And it goes back even before then because you got the Noah story. You got Adam and Eve story. You got all these particular stories. And the only people that's credited to organically come from ever organically is the Aboriginal people. That's you got the synonym, right? The big dog to Aboriginal is a tauntaun. That means one who come from the soil. You are organic. You are not no damn test tube baby. Y'all hit that like button, man, if y'all enjoying the live stream, man. Drop a fire emoji in the chat if y'all can see everything on the screen, if y'all can hear me loud and clear. I appreciate everybody for tapping in, man. It's your brother Aboriginal Power. You are tuned in to the big show. I appreciate everybody for tapping in. Let's continue the live.
Without form. These again are separated and matured within. They are then finally brought out into the light, and thus the generation of animals is completed. Thus were created women and female sex in general. End quote.
Hey guys, my name is Daniel.
Sorry about the ad. Sorry about the ad. Sorry about the ad.
I didn't start.
Now, Plato is very secretive throughout this entire book, and it would seem that the knowledge of the science and art of cloning hybrid creation would be a heavily guarded esoteric secret. This also is connected to the mysterious nature of the alchemist, which will have to be its own video, but this is connected to the creation of an artificial man. These were the greatest mysteries of the ancient world, and every occult author is elusive on the subject, hence the need for the philosopher's stone to decode the message. Although, It is also portrayed as an unknown mythical substance of turning base metals to gold. However, the symbols go deeper than just that. That will have to be for the next video. This video is about to go over some crazy stuff, but we just needed to start with Timaeus first. So who were these androgynous beings? How do men turn into women? Well, some of the Greek gods that they're referencing are actual beings that once existed, and they were androgynous in nature. They were extremely advanced beyond our comprehension because their souls were more seated in the head, as described by Plato. It was by design that it had moved into the breast like other animals. Plato, towards the end of Timaeus, is actually referencing his symposium, which again is another symbol, but in this, he reveals the secret of our past natures. Now this connects because the temple of Artemis herself, is referred to as the multi-breasted goddess, Artemis being the wild woman of Greek mythology. Well, this Artemis symbol is another reference to the Amazons, or the race of humans that were only female and had become fully independent with no need for men. The Amazons were also referenced as the one-breasted women. This is very interesting as we discuss the distortion of the original Artemis symbol. Well, get this. The original temple of Artemis at Ephesus in mainstream history is said to have been built by the Amazons who brought their statues. Quote, "Then they, the Amazons, turned to Ionia and Aeolia and made provinces of them after their surrender. Here they ruled for some time and even founded cities and camps bearing their name. At Ephesus, also they built a very costly and beautiful temple for Diana because of her delight in archery and the chase, arts to which they were themselves devoted." End quote. Quote, "Ephesus was thought to have been founded by the Amazons and their statues, chosen from a competition among the most celebrated artists of the day, were dedicated at the completion of the Temple of Artemis around 440-430 BC. Roman copies of these lost bronze originals each show the figure of the same size and dress, with the right arm raised over her head, sometimes leaning on a spear." End quote. The symbol of the Amazon women, which is also a fertility symbol, which is also a repopulation symbol. It's everywhere in our modern culture, manifesting in a variety of forms. Here, you can clearly see that this depiction of Diana of Ephesus is not only an advanced Amazon woman, but she has a crown just like the Statue of Liberty. She is also holding a scepter, which is not just some type of symbolic reference, but an actual device that these beings once possessed. Think about it. Do you know when the Statue of Liberty was brought to America?
Not only you see him with a scepter, you can look up the Chicago World's Fair. Let me see if I can find that image. You can look up the Chicago's World Fair, and guess what? Guess who's holding the scepter? You can look up the first Queen of England, a gold statue with a black face, pink lips, red lips, holding the same scepter. I'm just saying.
Now I think there's a cover-up to the story as well, as some of the early photos do seem to be photo manipulated. They say it was built in France, disassembled, and then they brought it to America to be reassembled. But the photos
That's a lie. That's a lie. What you don't understand, that Statue of Liberty had been there probably going back 5,000-10,000 years ago. And not only did they try to hide the fact that it was already there, they didn't tell you that it was a star fort and it was a city base at the base statue. They flooded that whole area all the way up to the top base, so you wouldn't be able to have no detail. The Statue of Liberty been there. Every main city had a huge statue representing the bloodline from which created that city or that ran that city. Going from Chicago, you see the huge statue that they tore down during the Chicago World's Fair. Philadelphia, you see the huge statue that they tore down during that one. San Francisco, you see the huge statue that they tore down. San Antonio, everyone had huge statues of that wasn't dressed like how you see them dressed in that era that they said that they created it. So if it was created in the 1800s, why you not got them dressed in the style of 1800s? They're dressed in some other style that wasn't active during the time that they say they created it. We got to pay attention and wake up here. I hope I'm not losing you guys. Drop a fire emoji in the chat if you guys are with me. I hope I'm not losing you guys. Shout out to my family in here. I know y'all with me. Drop them fire emojis. Support the channel. Let's go.
France could certainly be fakes, knowing what we know now about old photo manipulation techniques. Regardless of that, the official reconstruction date takes place in America between 1885 and 1886, which is the exact year that the Incubators opened in France. Why was there this random allegiance between France and the United States? Oh, just to support liberty? While they were making these postcards at the same time too. Who does that? Just sends over a massive statue like that for free? Well, maybe there's more to this story, and this is the exact period and location that a wave of immigrants made its way through Ellis Island.
It wasn't a wave of immigrants. You got to understand, all of them immigrants that you said that they say was white immigrants came from out of nowhere through Ellis Island. These was anchor babies, and they had a right and document each original anchor baby that was ever created coming up that they allowed in society. That's what that Ellis Island this shit is about.
And the Statue of Liberty is on a star fort, which in many star forts around the United States, as with Fort Sumter, they would import in mainstream history mass amounts of slaves to these forts. So this was not just for liberty, as the Statue of Liberty is Diana. She is Wonder Woman, mixed with the symbolism of Prometheus, as the flame represents the birth and creation of a new order. Let's remember who designed the statue and during what time period. They would have known that this is an ancient fertility symbol, and they've placed it right in our faces. Scholars say the Statue of Liberty is based off of Libertas, which is true, but both Athena and Artemis are used in very similar ways, and both have cult followings. Libertas, which is based on the goddess of Athena, Minerva, also an androgynous goddess. Quote, the helmet is a symbol of the goddess as Athena Minerva, but as Liberty, or Libertas, as the Romans called her, her symbol is a distinctive red stocking cap, the pileus, or Phrygian cap, said to be worn in ancient Rome by slaves who had won their freedom. In the Revolutionary era, rebels in America and France wore this liberty cap as a symbol of freedom from enslaving authority, and often raised it on a pole or pike as their standard. End quote. In short, many of our city seals have this symbol. Remember the owl from Promised Neverland? The orphans who were being farmed?
Listen, the orphans that was being formed. Now we're gonna show you this symbol again, and I'm gonna show you that they've been putting these little niggas in hip hop. They've been putting these same little niggas that you see being formed in hip hop. Now look at this. Who popping right now? Do your thing, 21. Do your thing. Drake is a clone from Incubator, which is the synagogue of Satan. So when you look up the son of Satan, what is the son of Satan name? Drake. What's Drake's symbol? Now, what's his logo? OVO. What's the OVO go back to? The ovuola or the ovaries. Man, listen. I ain't trying to hit y'all with too much. We ain't done, though. We're going to get right back to it. We ain't done.
Farm? These anime writers know a lot more than what they let on. The secret history of the Statue of Liberty is that it was designed by French Freemasons. Watch the waste management video if you want to know what they were up to with Sod or Sade and all that stuff. But yeah, these Freemasons got caught up being so blatant with their symbolism that there's this French book on this entire subject of their rituals, and so they essentially hid the symbol of Artemis within the Statue of Liberty. Either way you have it, the symbol has dark origins. Quote, "The Statue of Liberty represents the ancient Babylonian goddess of love and fertility, Ishtar. Ishtar is known as the mother of harlots because prostitution was part of her religious practices. She was worshipped as Astarte in the Middle East. Scriptures call her Ashtoreth, and she was known in Latin as Libertas, liberty. Libertas was referred to by Cicero, a Roman historian, as the mother of harlots. Liberty in ancient times was associated with sexual freedom and temple prostitution." Historian R.A. Coombs writes, "Harlots were social outcasts, so she was referred to as..."
I don't know if y'all heard that. They said temple prostitute. So you Catholic priests, niggas, that's all y'all be doing is selling that. You know what I'm saying? I ain't gonna say it, but y'all that shit in them temples, man. Y'all doing that in God's house. There he is when two or more meet in my name. Look at that, nigga.
Of harlots. Liberty in ancient times was associated with sexual freedom and temple prostitution. Historian R.A. Coombs writes, "Harlots were social outcasts, so she was referred to as the mother of exiles." This later equated with the idea of immigration becoming the mother of immigrants. Ishtar means Queen of Heaven. The same title was given to Mother Mary of Roman Catholicism. It's well known that this was actually a Freemasonic ritual. Just type in Freemasons in the Statue of Liberty. They aren't even trying to hide that. They're just not going to tell you the full story. So, this is a goddess of fertility, the goddess of immigrants, and also the goddess of orphans or foundlings. For this exact same symbol of Diana of Ephesus,
the goddess of orphans and family. Now listen, go back to look at these little babies that you see on here, these little white babies. If you watch A1 Bill, he was showing you the emblem of America, and it was them little babies, them little white babies on there. That's symbolism. These are anchor babies, test tube babies, cabbage pack babies, created babies. Who created them? The niggas who own majority of America in the 1800s. Who was popping? Who was the rich niggas? It's simple. And this ain't something new. This going back to ancient times. Y'all think some French people done gave us the Statue of Liberty? You think these people just tore down great structures and statues in Chicago? Then listen, brother, you have been tuned in to Big Aboriginal Power Channel to wake you guys up. I'm here to wake you guys up. This is not a game. Your whole life lies. I mean, your whole life, everything you've been told in your whole life is a fucking illusion. Excuse my French. It's an illusion. It's an illusion. Do I need to show you the Cabbage Patch babies? Do I need to go show you the live and dead babies in incubators in the 1800s? Where are these incubator facilities? Where are this science at? Why are they not showing you and presenting test tube babies at the CNN or the Country Music or the BET Awards? And nor have you ever seen a black test tube baby. None of them being test tube babies. You won't see a black test tube baby, man. I'll be dipped in shit and rolled in breadcrumbs if you can provide me and say, look, this is a black little Negro test tube incubator baby. I bet y'all niggas can't say incubator baby times real fast. Now this I want y'all to say. I want y'all to say incubator baby 10 times real fast. See if that won't twist your shit up real quick. Seriously though. The Cabbage Patch Kids, the Cabbage Patch. Yeah, you are a damn Cabbage Patch Kid. You damn test tube, baby. You don't have no soul connected to you. You're hooked up to science and just wandering space. That's why you lack certain electric magnetic frequencies. You don't have certain minerals from the material and the soil of one which you were created, because you wasn't created from organic fashion. Pale skins was created through scientific labs going back thousands of years ago from some of the most advanced ancient technology scientists and technologists that we have ever seen on this planet. And they all stem from the Americas, from central to north, from north to south, and continuing operation with some of the conjoining islands. My thing to tell you is that no, these are incubator babies. These are incubator babies. They done already told you. These little things was created. And they couldn't have did it without you. Even the Adam and Eve story tell you they had to take a piece of a nigga rib. And they had to do some scientific shit and grew this little thing. See, you don't understand. The Queen of England, which is who you see on the right, is the Queen of England. See, they've been having control and hands-on with the baby incubator science. That's why it was going around and is still going around. Even Princess Diana died telling the story that she seen the queens and the royal family eating children. Where you think these children was coming from? They came out the easy bake incubator oven. The easy bake baby incubator oven. See, you didn't know that they've been eating children in England. Princess Diana died telling you that they was eating children. Now, ain't it ironic that you see this royal lady allegedly on the right with this little baby in the middle? Come on, man. We got to pay attention, man.
Breasted goddess, the receding symbol, is used for the seal of the foundlings. Why would the original foundling hospital use this as an image or logo or symbol to promote their organization? We have no question now. To the left of the seal, we have the ancient repopulation symbol of Artemis. Then to the right, we have the distortion or the illusion of liberty, which is the harlot in disguise.
To be honest, they still be using these incubators science in the hospitals for babies that's premature. Premature babies, they gotta go through the incubator. See, you didn't know that, did you? See, they use that science to finish the process. See, a lot of them premature, them preemie babies, my little sister was, they put her little ass in the incubator. Turned on the microwave, fast forwarded the process. See, you don't understand this science going back. This is stolen shit. The hospitals was in America going back 5,000 years ago. Structures and all.
The baby is the creation born under Ishtar. And why is there a text reading help underneath? The inverted symbol on top being the Lamb of God or Mary, the symbol of the Rosicrucians, to project for the sin they are participating in during this repopulation process. And so they wish to see this as some sort of necessary sacrifice. This foundling operation is directly connected to the incubators.
Recordings just got better.
Look at them. They had them damn nuns. See, this is all Catholic shit.
So excited.
And they had a lot of these nuns doing this shit. Let me run this back a little bit.
In disguise. The baby is the creation born under Ishtar. And why is there a text reading help underneath? The inverted symbol on top being the Lamb of God, or Mary, the symbol of the Rosicrucians, to project for the sin they are participating in during this repopulation process, and so they wish to see this as some sort of necessary sacrifice. This foundling operation is directly connected to the incubators. In the Canada Lancet, there is a report in 1883, 3 years before the incubators, that describes in details where they got all these premature babies, from the foundling hospitals. And it also uses some very interesting wording. Quote, baby incubators. There were giants in the earth in those days, and there shall be giants in the earth in these days, to be seen not in sideshows merely, but on every hand, that is. If a report which comes from France be true, and it is well vouched for, and if giant babies are the making of giants and giantesses, all will admit the importance of a good send-off. It is just as essential in raising men and women as it is in raising any kind of stock. Blood and scientific management are no less potent in one case than the other. Indeed, it would be a great blessing to mankind were some of the ideas acted upon by the raisers of good stock imported into the more important business of raising a superior race of men and women. The working out of the law of the survival of the fittest would receive fresh impulse. Much sickness, pain, and sorrow would be averted, and the sum total of man's happiness would be immeasurably increased. But no such luck is in store for the human race. The weak and the sickly, no less than the strong and healthy, will continue to produce after their kind. Man's twofold nature is an insuperable barrier to the enactment of civil laws, restricting to any considerable extent the natural law of reproduction. Economic and social considerations will always outweigh considerations having regard to the welfare of the prospective offspring. All that science or government can do in the matter is to educate the masses into a more perfect knowledge of physical laws. But to return to the subject, Dr. Tarnier, a French physician attached to a foundling hospital, reports surprising results from certain recent experiments. This gentleman is said to have been grieved by the large number of children under his care who perished within the first 6 months of their life. While in this mood, a new idea occurred to him. If French chickens, he asked himself, can be raised by artificial means, why not French babies? He caused a box to be made, having glass slides and resembling an ordinary chicken incubator. It was furnished with a soft bed, plate.
Look at this. He's even explaining these ancient incubators. Look, had them little babies out there like that. You wonder how they got on these orphan trains. And you wonder how they got on these orphan trains. They was literally been fucking hatched out of an incubator. Picked up like little cabbage. Picked up like cabbage. Shout out to my brother Jaguar. Oh man, he make good fucking cabbage, right? And we, you understand me? So keep eating the cabbage. Just don't eat no Cabbage Patch babies. All right? You'll get that if you'll get that. That's what it was. But listen, man. Seriously. You wonder how these little things got on these orphan trains because they was created in these little facilities. Put out as an experiment to run rampant in the world. Niggas like Mark Zuckerberg. The nigga who owned Amazon Prime. These are motherfucking incubator babies. Test tube babies. Lab babies. Or unorganic egg hatch baby. They probably was really in the egg. They probably created a life-size egg and put one of you motherfuckers in there. Rob, listen, bro. I fuck with you. It's all good. Don't be hurt, bro. We just telling your history. Don't be mad, bro. You white people always want to know where y'all come from. Your ass was a little powder soup that we fixed through in an easy bake oven and created your motherfucking ass, nigga.
himself can be raised by artificial means. Why not French babies? He caused a box to be made, having glass slides and resembling an ordinary chicken incubator. It was furnished with a soft bed, placed in a dark room, and kept in a temperature of 85 degrees Fahrenheit by means of hot water.
Man, listen, did y'all hear that shit? I'm sorry. I stepped away, but did y'all hear that shit? Them babies was kept in a room at 85 degrees. Now listen, I want y'all to do me a favor. Go turn your motherfucking heat up to 85 degrees. Turn all your lights off and lay down in one spot and see what the fuck happened. You gonna pass the fuck out, dude? They was in there cooking them babies, man. 85 degrees in a dark room, just babies whining with the heat turned all the way the fuck up. My heat don't go nothing up but the 85, I don't think. Goddamn. That's maximum heat. They might as well just say they had them turned up to maximum heat. Go do it right now. Boy, you be sweating like a motherfucking pig. These are, see, this is what I'm saying. Now you wonder why these motherfucking anchor babies, these pals, they like the cold weather. They won't get anything far away from that damn heat. It reminds them when they was getting created. Well, when your ass just a little powder soup, you gotta have some heat on you, nigga. We gotta cook you. We gotta put you in the microwave. Hey, listen, man. You go to that Chicago's World's Fair and the Philadelphia World's Fair, man. Listen, in the World's Exposition, listen, man. They showed you these little anchor babies, man. They ain't hardly have on no clothes, and I know it was like in the winter. It was cold as fuck in Philadelphia. Them motherfuckers love that weather, boy. Seriously though, no, I want y'all to go turn y'all heat up then since it's some bullshit. I want y'all to just understand this. Turn your heat up to 85. Go and get to a nice little secluded room. Turn all the lights off. Make it dark as you can get and stay in one spot. What he just said he did? You gotta be shitting me.
With a soft bed, placed in a dark room and kept in a temperature of 85 degrees Fahrenheit by means of hot water.
Oh, did you hear that? They had that bitch at 85 by means of hot water. Just go ahead and say you was boiling the kids, man, or steaming them. You stir fry. Just go ahead and say you was steaming them, man. See, that's some bullshit. And then you got the Bible in Leviticus telling you how to eat the kids. Eat the fruit of thy womb. We will eat your child tomorrow, and the next day we eat thy neighbors. I can pull up the verse. They talking about eating incubator babies, man. What? They said they got them babies in the room. Dark. Sound like a pot with a lid on it. 85 degrees. They done turned that bitch up on max. And they done splashed in some water.
Of the infants. A miserable specimen of the crying, colicky kind, the child was provided with a nursing bottle, and of course only fed at regular intervals.
The best way to make money on Amazon in 2023 is no longer selling physical products like everyone thinks. Me and my twin brother Rasmus have discovered a new and much better way to make money with Amazon that has nothing to do with selling physical products. So that means no spending thousands of dollars just to get started, no experience or special skills required, and most importantly, there's no competition to worry about. In fact, the way we do Amazon is so simple that I even showed my 56-year-old mother-in-law how to do this, who has never done anything like this online before. And now she makes enough from Amazon to cover most of her living expenses every month. And the best part is, even busy people like Carmine here are able to do this in as little as 5 to 10 hours per week and still make more than most people do at their full-time job. But even better than telling you how easy and doable this is, I want to show you. But obviously this is an ad, so I can't show you everything here. But if you click on this video, you'll be able to watch a short free training video I just put together that goes into everything. It explains exactly how this works, why this works so well right now, as well as a live demonstration of the 4-step system we follow to get paid by Amazon. Now, listen, if you're skeptical about
The child ceased its crying on the second day.
My bad,
Much to the
y'all.
doctor's surprise, and never again cried for the space of the 8 weeks it attended the
My bad, y'all. But listen, man, it's talking about eating them motherfuckers, man. Yeah, I stepped away. My bad. That's some bullshit. That's some bullshit. Players fuck up. Players fuck up. Somebody said show the Bible verse where they eating them. Man, they just said that they was eating them right there pretty much. Put them in a room, boiled them, just like the Bible said. The Bible said they boiled them. All right, I'm going to pull up the verse. Y'all asked for it. I don't know. You asked them big Aboriginal power to pull up shit. Because I'll pull that motherfucker up just like that. Boom. And then zoom right in on that motherfucker like that. This woman said to me, give your son that we may eat him today, and we eat my son tomorrow. So we bore my son and ate him. I said to her on the next day, give your son that we may eat him. But she has hidden her son. So she wasn't gonna let the motherfuckers eat her motherfucking son like y'all did, man. So don't say people weren't eating people in the Bible, man. They said boil him. Now I don't want to do it. Don't ask me to do shit that you don't really want to see. Yeah, I told y'all I'm a Bible thumper. So listen, man. Don't dang thing about these are Christians that's creating and took hold of these incubator systems.
At the end of this period, it had the appearance of a healthy child, a year old. Encouraged by the success, Dr. Tarnier repeated the experiment with the like results. He then, with the permission of the hospital authorities, proceeded to construct an incubator capable of receiving 400 children, and in this he placed all the children in the hospital, 360 in number. All except 2 remained in the incubator 6 months. When they had to be removed, having outgrown their narrow beds, were it not that the fact...
Oh yeah, I see some people looking at that Bible verse. Well, listen, I'll give y'all the full Bible verse. This is 2 Kings chapter 6, verse 24 to verse 30. So you can get full context of what's going on. So it's metaphorically, no, it's literal. They literally cook and ate them. They boiled them. They looked for the other lady. She hid her children because what they literally just did. It ain't no metaphor, ain't no precept on precept. It's literal. I'm just saying, man. Drop that fire emoji in the chat, man. We about to get ready to get out of here in a minute. I'm going to do a part 2 to the incubator babies, man. I'm doing part 2 tomorrow. Stay tuned. We're not done. We're going to get deep into the science of this incubator baby situation, going all the way back to prehistoric time, even giving birth to people that you think are original ethnicity, like the Asian. Oh man, we're gonna get into it, man. So stay tuned. I'm gonna play a couple more minutes of this, and we'll get into part 2 probably tomorrow, man. So stay tuned. Turn up, man. Let's get it, man. I want y'all to hit that like button, support the channel in the chat, man.
Facts are vouched for by and in this he placed all the children in the hospital, 360 in number. All except 2 remained in the incubator 6 months, when they had to be removed, having outgrown their narrow beds, were it not that the facts are vouched for by a commission of 12 who made a report to the government that the results claimed might be deemed incredible. The average age of the infants when put in the incubator was 8 months and 3 days, the youngest being 12 hours and the eldest 11 months. The average weight of the 360 was 10 pounds. At the end of the 6 months, the average weight was 85 pounds, and all are said to have looked like children 8 years old. As much was accomplished in 6 months by the incubator as in accomplished in 8 years of ordinary life. The infants were not only large, but also strong and healthy, and most of them walked within a week of leaving their nest. The results were astonishing and exceeded
Hold
Dr.
on.
Ramirez's
They creating these metropolis babies. These big, dumb, strong, handicapped, big, strong white motherfuckers walking around. They say them motherfuckers 85 pounds 6 months. How, Sway? The fuck? We wonder why these niggas like the Texas Chainsaw Massacre run around these motherfuckers.
It is now expected that every child's hospital will go into the incubation business, so that we shall probably witness a lively competition in the business of raising giants. If this children incubator is a good thing in foundling hospitals, and for hospital babies generally, it ought also to be a good thing in all homes blessed with babies. Doubtless, we shall soon witness a new industry started under the fostering care of the national policy, and presently, baby incubator agents will be as numerous as sewing machine agents. It would be easy to enlarge on the practical value and suggestiveness of Dr. Turnier's experiments. First, it is clear the babies were not rocked, yet they enjoyed perpetual repose. This teaches us that all the fuss and worry of mothers and nurses, so wearing to the Constitution, is not only wholly unnecessary, but an absolute evil in all its bearings. Instead of being placed in a condition favorable to absolute quiet, our babies are made a sort of family toy to be tossed from one to another as means of sport. It's almost as if he doesn't understand that babies are family members and that people actually love them. Because then he says, the moment the little creature begins to notice surrounding objects, its powers are excited to the utmost to afford amusement to the family circle. Because then he says, the moment the little creature begins to notice surrounding objects, its powers are excited to the utmost to afford amusement to the family circle. In conclusion, we may be permitted to say that the essential conditions to successful baby raising are 1. Absolute quiet and no unnecessary interference on the part of the nurses. 2. Regular and judicious feeding. 3. Uniformity of temperature above that suited to adults. This condition is difficult of attainment in ordinary life, but much may be accomplished by the knowledge that infants require a higher temperature. Even modified observance of the foregoing conditions would take away much of the worry caused by crying and sleepless babies, and would add greatly to the quiet, health, and growth of our children. It's all very strange, because it seems that they're treating babies as if it was a new thing.
Look at this shit. Got these little fuckers growing in the field. That's what they were showing with this. When you see these babies getting picked at the grass, that's symbolic of the Cabbage Patch Kids. We're gonna end this video right here, but I just want to let y'all know that's symbolic of the Cabbage Patch Kids. That's symbolic of that. I said I just showed early 1900s film that displays the talking about these Cabbage Patch Kids. That was the main interest in America at the time. That's all they wanted to talk about. Let's play a little bit of that before we go for our end the video. Look at this. Early film, 1900s. You just seen a picture of them babies in the corn or cabbage field. Now watch this. Boom. Picked up, threw it on the ground like it was just a piece of taters. Look. She dressed royal too. Look, pick up another one. Look, just throw it off me and throw it on the ground. Boom, baby, hit the grill, hit the ground, everything. So they eating them babies. They growing them. This is the incubator. This is the promote that incubator baby. Look, that one ain't even moving that she just laid on the ground. That one ain't even move at all. You don't even know if that one was alive. Hopefully so. That's sick if they put it in the film. You see what I'm saying? And that's just all I'm saying with it. Like, that's it. That's it. That's weird. But hey, these incubator babies, that's all they was promoting. That's all they was trying to get of. The orphan child is the incubator babies at a certain age that they try to put into normal society. All right, so with that being said, it's your brother Aboriginal Power. Hopefully y'all enjoyed the live stream. I want to say peace and blessings to all the American Aborigines and brothers and sisters from all over the world that's in the chat. If I can get y'all to politely hit that like button, okay, drop a fire emoji in the chat. I will be doing part 2 to the incubator babies tomorrow. I will be doing part 2. Y'all support the channel, man. I appreciate y'all for tapping in, though. Real talk. I appreciate everybody for tapping in. Make sure y'all support the channel. Y'all tuned in to the greatest. Big Bout. The news you can use. All right? So make sure y'all support the channel. Thumb up the video on your way out. Support the channel. Don't eat the Cabbage Patch babies. Just eat the regular cabbage. See, that's why you think they call it a head of cabbage. See, they in them little cabbage about the size of them little anchor babies. All we need is like 5 more likes, 3 more likes. Let's get the likes up before we go, though. Real talk, hit them likes before we go. Turn up, hit them likes. Shout out to everybody in the building, man. With that being said, be safe, be aware, stay vigilant, stay dangerous. It's your brother Aboriginal Power, and we out. Peace.
See, my life has been in motion. I'm a little windy. I'm not giving up yet. If you with me, time to place up your bet. Ain't no turning back, got niggas who ran. When we caught his ass, got caught in that jam. Yeah, you know who I am. Yeah, you know who I am. I can feel it coming. I can feel it coming. Is that feeling in your stomach? You can feel it coming. Is that feeling in your stomach? You can feel it coming. Yeah, you can feel it coming. Fake love, snake you in your face, love. That snake you in your face, love. I told my brothers we gon' make it. That's how God wrote it. And the snake gon' show his face, that that's how God wrote it. Too much fake love, that snake you in your face, love. Your face, love. That snake you in your face, love. I told my brothers we gon'